I said, OMG, man. British boxer, heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, says he's going to outbox not only lineal champion Tyson Fury, but also Deontay Wilder. Difference is, he said Tyson Fury is getting knocked out. Stay tuned.
Just a minute.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing, the king of these boxing videos and news. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, Anthony Joshua, he says that he would knock out Tyson Fury, KO smooth. And then as far as Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, heavyweight champion of the world, WBC, I'm so frustrated. He said he would outbox him. Now, shout out to The Sun, the article, the link is in the description. You guys see it on the screen. It says, no joshing. Anthony Joshua insists he would KO Tyson Fury, no nonsense, and outbox Deontay Wilder. AJ saw the opportunities to secure super fights with the Bronze Bomber and the Gypsy King, right? And it says he's fighting Miller, right? Let's get into the article. Anthony Joshua revealed he will opt for no-nonsense tactics against Tyson Fury, but will deploy more strategic boxing with Deontay Wilder, which that statement is very telling. But I'm going to read what Anthony Joshua had to say, AJ Boxing, and then afterwards I'll give more of my thought. You know, sidebar, did y'all hear about this R. Kelly? I told you, it's a remix to Ignition. I'm about to go to prison. Tripping. Anyway, for the same reason AJ 29 saw a mammoth domestic clash with Tyson Fury, right? Okay, let's just get into it. Speaking to the New York Times, Joshua revealed he would simply KO the elusive Fury, age 30, if they were to fight, but would use differing tactics against KO artist Deontay Wilder, who's 33. Joshua says, quote, Fury, I'm going to knock him out. No nonsense. None of this jab for jab nonsense. Just work him. Work him, work him. With Wilder, I can outbox Wilder. No problem. No problem. It's mad. Right? He goes on this. This picture is funny. Fury's a bit more elusive, so I have to just kind of pin him down a bit more, then do what I want to do. And it says Joshua's making his U.S. debut June 1st against Jarrell Miller, as Joshua prepares to defend his trio world titles at Madison Square Garden against Big Baby Miller. It says keen again to keep his tactics straightforward. Joshua insisted he will just beat him up, end quote, when describing the game plan against Miller. Joshua added, just beat him up. There's no real complicated stuff when it comes to boxing. Just beat him up. You hit him hard, you hit them hard, and you earn their respect. What happens is their spirit is like 100%. And then you've got to take them down to 80, to 60, to 40, to 20, until they got nothing left. And then if he stays in there, it's how much heart he has. Yeah, he's a big guy. It's a bigger target. He's obviously going to be firing back, so I have to be on my A game. So, you know, that's a lot to unpack from Anthony Joshua, 4-belt champion. So this interview, it looks like it actually came from, I seen it on The Sun, but it looks like it initially came from the New York Times, right? And they linked to it. So shout out to the New York Times. I'll provide both links. It was an interview with the New York Times, a Q&A that they had with the heavyweight champion. And he says he's going to just beat Jarrell Miller up, you know, made that sound easy work. And then he says Deontay Wilder, he has to have a different strategy. But it's funny, if you listen to what's being said, he says for Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, WBC, I'm so frustrated, Eddie Hearns, right? For the heavyweight champion of the world, you are saying you're going to win, basically, but you're going to win via outboxing him. But in the case of Tyson Fury, You say you're gonna knock him out. That, to me, a lot of people see on this channel, Boxingego, the real side. We give it to you raw and uncut, however you want it, you know. No filter, no filth. I mean, we got filter, but you know, within reason. We ain't just like, you know, attacking babies and stuff. But you guys get what I'm saying. The point is, he sounds like he's going to be more cautious, and he knows he has to be more cautious when we're talking about Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. But the reason I bring this up, because a lot of get to the damn point, here you go. Let me explain this. If you listen to what he's saying, Jarrell Miller and Tyson Fury, he doesn't sound as threatened by the outcome of those fights. Jarrell Miller, he says, I'm just gonna beat him up, break him down. He's big, but that's a bigger target. You know, I'm gonna break him down little by little, etc. He said, Tyson Fury, you gotta pin him down because he's elusive, he has a defense, he moves more, but then I'm gonna knock him out once I do that. You know, take these guys down to 80%, 60%, 20%, etc. Right? But in the case of Deontay Wilder, he's talking about outboxing him. So, you know, this proves what I've been saying. Eddie Hearns, Anthony Joshua, they know the Bronze Bomber, based on his punching power, is a huge, massive risk, as they say. Massive. Because look at the heavyweight champ is talking about beating Jarrell Miller because he doesn't think Jarrell Miller, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just going off of instinct. This is what he believes. He believes that, you know, Jarrell Miller ain't fought no one like him. And rightfully so, because Jarrell Miller, you know, that's a cool picture. Jarrell Miller doesn't have any names on his resume that like match up with an Anthony Joshua. Plus, look at how many fucking people are in this picture. You know, Joshua has been on this high of a stage. Jarrell Miller, you know, look, he got smoke and, you know, he's sitting up on whatever, this little pedestal. You know, Jarrell Miller, to my knowledge, he hasn't had no events like that. You know, look at all these phones. Like he had at the Grammys or something. Like, you know, Travis Scott at the Super Bowl. You know, like he Drake or something. I'm upset. Yeah, 50. That's disrespect. I was running through the 6 with Mayuo. You know how that go. You know, so he doesn't believe that Miller has it. He said the other thing about Miller is he's got a mouth on him. Yeah, but that's just verbal. I do physical. See, like, listen to how he's talking. But when he's talking about Deontay Wilder, he's not saying that. He's talking about knocking out Tyson Fury and beating Jarrell Miller up. But then when it comes to Wilder, he's talking about outboxing him. You know, a lot of times people, they don't come out and say something, but you got to read between the lines. Sometimes saying less is more. You know, why is it? He knows that Deontay Wilder, stylistically, based on his punching power and probably knowing his own attributes. See, he knows he can box. Anthony Joshua is a good boxer. He knows he can box, right? He has good fundamentals. So he knows he's the stronger guy with Tyson Fury. Not as tall, but stronger, you know? So that's why he's saying, he's going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to knock him out. And even that, you know, Tyson Fury, he's 6'10", 6'11", can box, elusive, you know, reflexes. He was making it hard for Deontay Wilder. But yet and still, AJ still believe. I do believe, you know, he believes that he can pin him down and get it done. Jarrell Miller, he thinks he's not, you know, on his level at all. But it's a backhanded compliment almost for Wilder. He's showing you, and he's basically telling you, at least to me, that based on him thinking that the outcome of the Wilder fight, you're going to outbox him. Because when I think of the fight, Wilder and Joshua, I think someone's going to get knocked the hell out. That's what I think. But it's showing that he knows that Wilder has a huge punch, and this is something that he has to be cautious about. You know, Wilder in sports, in boxing, current boxing, he's probably hitting the hardest. I know Gervonta Tank Davis, you know, he says he hits the hardest. He just did that thing with PBC on Fox, and he hit the, like, you know, the punch meter. But we're talking about blunt force trauma. You know, Tank might have better technique, and, you know, he's hitting hard, but, you know, can Tank knock out a 265-pound man? You know, is per capita, Tank might hit harder. You get what I'm saying? Per square inch. But obviously a 6'7", you know, lean athletic guy is probably stronger. But regardless, this is very telling to me. It says, what's your hardest fight so far, Klitschko? That's facts. But this is very telling to me. Very, very, very telling, because if you think you're going to only outbox Wilder, when I think of that fight, I think either one of them, you know, but I would lean towards Wilder. I think it would end in a knockout either way, though. I don't see it going to the cards. So he knows he has to be cautious, and see, that's, you know, maybe that's part of his game plan. Maybe he just knows himself. So once again, this is why he thinks he fares better with Miller and Tyson Fury. That's why his statements are a lot more punchy and a lot more to the point, and just you know, these dudes they're not on my level. You know, I'm gonna knock them out. I'm gonna beat them up. But Wilder, you're gonna outbox him. Okay, you know, we know what that means. So, like I've been saying, Joshua, massive risk, massive, is really telling. Fury and Wilder, they're tall. They're not that tall. See, what will your game plan be? Outbox them both. Fury, I'm just going to knock him out. No nonsense. None of this jab for jab nonsense. Just work him. With Wilder, I can outbox Wilder, no problem. Fury's a bit more elusive, so I have to kind of pin him down a bit more, then do what I want to do. So, you know, clearly he sounds more confident in his pure ability to, you know, dictate and dominate, because he's elaborating more on the Fury side. And again, it's because Fury's been dropped. We've seen him get dropped by Wilder. I was at the fight at the Staples Center. We've seen, you know, Tyson Fury get dropped by Steve Cunningham, a cruiserweight. So I can understand Joshua himself being 6'6", being Brocky, being a super heavyweight, you know, who's strong and powerful, and he knows that. That's why, you know. But with Wilder, he knows. And the real reason that I have to highlight this, you know, and give you guys these highlights like this, is because there's a lot of people who keep saying the casual cliche stuff. They're saying things to the effect of, oh yeah, Wilder's so sloppy, windmill Wilder. But how come people are taking drugs, failing drug tests, PED tests to fight Wilder? You know, how come people are like avoiding Wilder? How come, even though Joshua thinks he can beat both of them, according to what he's saying, not that he's fighting them, but even though that is the case, he's saying and telling us he has to be more cautious versus a guy like Deontay Wilder. You know, why? I thought he's so sloppy and windmill Wilder. So once again, it proves most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing. All you fans, this is just more vindication for new media. A lot of you guys don't know what you're talking about. You know, obviously Anthony Joshua, whether he admits it or not, based on these statements, views Wilder as a threat. And as he should. You know, he's a huge puncher, biggest puncher in boxing, so of course he should do that. Let me know what you guys think of Anthony Joshua saying he can outbox both of them, but included in the outboxing, he says he's not going to only outbox Tyson Fury, but he would knock him out. And so far, Tyson Fury has proven to be a hell of a lineal champion, so he's making it sound like it's easy. So to me, that statement is very telling that Joshua really believes that versus Tyson Fury, right, he can have his way and it's going to be easier. Wilder, he knows that he has to fight the right fight and be on his P's and Q's, which makes sense. Again, you know, it's actually smart on Joshua's behalf, because, you know, we've seen Joshua drop by Klitschko. I've heard stories about David Price. So he probably just knows himself, and he knows that stylistically the puncher is more of a difficulty for his particular style. He's not worried about someone outboxing him, you know, and he knows, you know, this is huge to me. This is huge news, because once again, people always say, oh, Wilder, he, you know, bum squad, and he fights so sloppy and wild, and he lacks technique, and this, that, and the third. Yet Tyson Fury, you're saying you're gonna outbox and then do what you want with him and knock him out, and sounding more confident than the ability to knock out Wilder. And he's the guy, which, if we're talking about boxing, right, Tyson Fury's clearly the better boxer, sharper, fundamentally sound boxer. But this is what I've always said, styles make fights. You know, guys Canelo's a better boxer than Marcos Maidana. Skill for skill, better boxer. But Maidana gave Floyd Mayweather a tougher fight because they had two different approaches. Canelo, being a good boxer, had a foolish game plan, because Saul Canelo Aijos, born ready Alvarez, tried to outbox and outwit and outsmart Floyd Mayweather instead of using his height and his youth and, you know, trying to, you know, go for broke. Marcos Maidana, styles make fights. actually had a smart game plan. Like, if I'm going to win this, I'm not going to win this by being clean. I'm not going to win this boxing match by actually, you know, outboxing Floyd. Even though my jab is improved with Robert Garcia, at the end of the day, I'm not going to win like that, you know, especially on the cards. So I'm just going to try to rough him up. I'm just going to try to go in there, go for broke, hit him everywhere, knee him, bite it, you know, whatever I got to do to frustrate him and go for broke. And that's what Maidana did. Hence why Maidana had a better performance than Canelo versus Mayweather. Even though Canelo clearly is the better boxer, styles make fights. And I think that's what it is here with Anthony Joshua. He knows that stylistically, it sounds like Deontay Wilder, he's more concerned with that heavy-handed puncher than somebody outboxing him. Let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned for the latest and greatest in boxing news. You know, we the future of this game. It is what it is. New media, you know what it is. Digital mob. And just like that, we out. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. So I don't know. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.